What's happening in the Fort Wayne real estate market? Everybody has an opinion about the Fort Wayne housing market right now. Your neighbor, your coworker, someone who saw one national headline and assumed it applies to Allen County. And most of what you're hearing is probably based on national news, not what's actually happening in Fort Wayne, in New Haven, in Huntertown, Leo Cedarville, or the neighborhoods people are watching this summer. We're in the middle of one of the busiest seasons for real estate, and there's been a lot of noise. Mortgage rates have been moving around, headlines keep warning about a crash that still has not happened, and inventory is changing. Buyers are being more selective, and sellers are trying to understand how to price correctly. And in the middle of all of it, people here in Fort Wayne are trying to figure out whether they should buy, sell, or just stay put. So I want to cut through the noise and show you where things actually stand in our local Fort Wayne market right now. First of all, home prices are steady. They are not crashing. Home prices in Fort Wayne are not spiking like they were a few years ago, but they're also not falling apart. Recent market data shows Fort Wayne home prices are still up slightly compared to last year. And that's a very different story from the crash headlines people keep seeing online. What we're seeing locally is a steadier market. Homes that are priced correctly, they're still getting attention, but overpriced homes are sitting longer or they're making adjustments. And that's not a crash. That's a market becoming more normal. For buyers, that means you may have a little bit more room to think through your options and to think about your offers before having to make one right away. And for sellers, it means pricing matters more than it did during the peak of the market. Number two, mortgage rates are better than last summer, but still better. Mortgage rates are still one of the biggest factors in the market right now. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is in the mid-sixes, which is lower than where it was around this time last year. And that's helped some buyers who were sitting on the sidelines to take another look. Rates are not going back to 3%. That's not the market we're in anymore. But even a small change in the rate can affect your monthly payment. So for Fort Wayne buyers, the question is not what's the best price of the home, it's also what does this payment look like with taxes, insurance, and the current rate. That's where having the right numbers really matter. Number three, buyers have more choices, but good homes, they still move. One of the biggest changes this summer is that buyers have more options than they had during the most competitive years. And that doesn't mean every buyer has unlimited leverage. Fort Wayne is still an affordable market compared to many parts of the country, and well-positioned homes can still sell very quickly. But buyers are being more careful. They're comparing homes, they're watching price, condition, location, and monthly payment. And for sellers, that means the old strategy of listing high and waiting for buyers to fight over it does not work the way it did before. The homes that are clean, well-maintained, priced correctly, and marketed well are still the ones getting the strongest results. Number four, the economy is noisy, let's face it, but Fort Wayne real estate is very steady. The economy has a lot going on. People are watching mortgage rates, inflation, job reports, global conflicts, and national headlines. But Fort Wayne real estate has stayed relatively steady because this market is driven by real local demand. People are still moving for jobs, family, schools, affordability, and lifestyle. Buyers still want homes. Sellers still have equity. And the people making decisions right now are doing it with better information than they had during the frenzy a few years ago. That doesn't mean every home sells overnight. It means the market is still moving, but strategy matters now more than ever. So, here's the real picture in Fort Wayne. Prices are steady, mortgage rates are better than last summer, buyers have more choices, and the market is still moving. Broad numbers are only a starting point. What really matters is what's happening in your neighborhood, your price range, and your specific situation. If you want to know what the Fort Wayne market actually looks like for you in your home and your buying goals, reach out. I'll walk you through the real numbers so you can make your decision based on data, not headlines.